I feel like some of you might be using your sense of humor or even kind of self-degrading or self-effacing language to almost mask or protect yourself from being vulnerable, especially in regards to what you're really desiring or wanting. I did pull an animal card for you. We'll get into tarot in just a moment, but I pulled the hyena from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. And this often does speak of kind of a fake humor or almost like a facade that's kind of masking something a little bit deeper. Sometimes this card can even go as far to indicate some sort of overindulgence, either with alcohol or substance, kind of like that bolsterous laughter that's almost like trying to convince other people or even trying to convince yourself. And what I really get for you, Aries, is that regardless of how you're doing this, it's almost like you are protecting yourself from a sense of rejection or disappointment. And I think a lot of you may have dreams or may just have emotions or longings, desires. It could even be for a relationship that you're sort of afraid to voice. And so I feel like a lot of this reading is going to be about saying what it is you want and owning that. I am going to pull some tarot cards for you, and for those of you who are brand new to this channel, my name is Micah. I go by they, them pronouns. You can find all of my links in the description of this video. I am actually running a sale on my website. You can get 30% off astrology chart readings using the code in the stars through the rest of January. So if you're watching before February or whenever else this might find you, now is a great time to go in for that deep dive, maybe even getting a year ahead spread. Again, snag that while you can. I have my website linked in the description of this video. You can also find a Ko-fi, which is a platform that lets you make a one-time or monthly donation. Definitely no pressure there, but for those of you who feel so called and have the means to do so, always appreciate it. But really, I love and am so grateful for all of the support you can give this channel, whether it's through your likes, shares, comments, subscribes. All of that helps more than you can possibly know. And if you've been following around for some time and haven't done so already, definitely consider hitting that bell notification so you can always stay up to date with what's in the cards for you. So what are the messages that we have for Aries? Okay, interesting. Two cards are actually coming out here. We have the Ace of Cups in reverse and the Hermit in reverse. And I'm getting two kind of distinct messages. Maybe it's actually, maybe both of these messages will apply. You know, these are general messages, so take what resonates and leave the rest behind for somebody else. Some of you are going through a period of rejection or heartache with the Ace of Cups in reverse. Maybe your relationship has ended. Maybe there's a sense of loneliness, of isolation. Maybe some of you just feel like there aren't any options or any viable connections. For others of you, you're feeling disconnected. Like your heart isn't in it anymore, whatever that means. That could actually apply to a relationship for some of you. But it could also be about a career, something that was once a calling, or just a path that you are walking right now. Either way, there's almost like a sense of mourning here with the Ace of Cups in reverse, and almost a disconnection with your sense of self. Maybe you're even isolating. But I think with the hyena here, it really does feel like you have tried to convince yourself how you might feel, or tried to mask how you feel. It's like you've been lying to yourself a little bit, Aries. I feel like some of you have kind of been stuck in your head with the Chariot in reverse and the Seven of Cups. Some of you are stuck in fantasy or the potential of things. Sometimes when I see the Chariot in reverse, it is a card of recklessness, of kind of charging after things. But in this particular context, it actually feels like an inaction being afraid to do something. I feel like some of you also almost have this thing that I call the armor of potential. Like, oh, one day I'm going to write the novel. One day I'm going to create that channel or create that social media account, or like you're making almost like this story for yourself to feel better about where you currently are. And that, I'm sorry if that comes across as heavy-handed. Nothing here is meant to make you feel bad or meant to make you feel disempowered. Everything is to kind of affirm what you're already sort of feeling or thinking, or to at least kind of name the experience so you can best respond and move forward. But I do feel like some of you are kind of stuck in this sort of abstraction. And with the King of Pentacles in reverse, feeling a little ungrounded, unstable. Maybe like it's hard for you to get a footing in life. Tell me a little more about this King of Pentacles. Interesting. King of Pentacles with the Queen of Cups. You kind of know you're doing this, I think, Aries. Some of you are also finding fulfillment despite feeling a lack of stability in your life. You're kind of reconnecting to things that really matter. Maybe friendships, things like that. For others of you, the long-term plan has changed. Maybe you expected something very traditional for yourself, but the Queen of Cups is really imploring you to connect to your heart, to listen to your intuition, maybe doing some meditation or some introspection, some reflection. I really do think of the word reflection actually with the Queen of Cups. So it's almost like asking yourself, why have I not been doing what inspires or excites me? And we are getting some clarity right now with the Ace of Swords. What are we supposed to do with this energy? Let's get a little practical. We've already been sort of stuck up in the clouds, in the abstraction. What is Aries supposed to do here? What is the advice? Interesting. So I have the Ten of Swords and Nine of Cups both showing up in reverse. There is a sense of disappointment or dissatisfaction. I feel like actually what I'm getting here is you thought your life would be different. You had a dream for your life that did not end up being realized. And some of you feel like you've missed your moment, you've missed your opportunity. But I don't think you have. But that's just kind of the feeling. And it's almost like you were waiting for something to happen to you, Aries. But you need to go out and make it happen. In whatever tangible, practical steps you can take. I do also have the Hierophant showing up here, which can be a card of spirituality, weirdly tradition. Like, I feel like there's a lot of paradox and contradiction in the things I'm saying, because on one hand, it's like we're getting this energy of like, you're stuck in your head, you're stuck in abstraction, but also there's this need to reflect. And it feels like the reflection is about, why have I not been taking these actions? How have I been holding myself back? Or not saying aloud what it is that I really desire or want. And then there's been this kind of energy here with the Hierophant about tradition, but the King of Pentacles is kind of like wanting something different. The long-term plan has changed, okay? Hierophant here is really telling me that you're meant to almost like level up right now. You're almost going through some kind of initiation, maybe even learning from spirituality, different practices, different belief systems. But it's not about transcending. It's not about trying to escape or disconnect from your humanity. Instead, it is about taking spiritual energy, your soul, your higher self, if you will, and fully embodying that here on earth. The Fool in reverse. You've been afraid to take that dive, afraid to jump in. I feel like you do kind of need to take some sort of leap of faith. Take a chance on yourself and on your dreams and on your heart. Because I do get the sense for a lot of you, this applies to relationships as well. And I really do feel, especially for younger people, kind of looking at things like dating apps or even just kind of like the dating culture, there's so much avoidance. There's so much fear of saying what it is that you really want because it almost comes across as being too much or being too intense, like you're afraid to push people away. And don't be afraid to do that, actually. Don't be afraid to push away people who aren't on your level or who don't want what you want. Because you really need to take what it is that you want more seriously. And you are getting yourself out of this kind of depression or this grieving period with the Five of Cups in reverse. I feel like some of you might have even been in relationships or a relationship recently where you were sort of lying about what you wanted. Maybe you did want something like marriage, children, buying a house together, whatever that was. Could also be the opposite. Maybe you didn't want something, but you almost said what the other person wanted to hear. And you try to convince yourself like, oh yeah, I want those things, but you really didn't. And I think that's kind of what you're learning, and that's kind of the wisdom you're able to gain moving forward. So just being more direct with what you want and desire out the gate. That doesn't just have to apply to relationships as well, or at least romantic relationships. That could potentially apply to other areas as well, where you're just kind of being more direct with what it is that you want, telling people what your dreams are, because I feel like there's almost like some people have this kind of like cringiness with it, but at the same time, you will be amazed when you speak something out loud, the opportunities and connections that you can make. And I think you might even know what I'm talking about here. Like, you kind of just have to say the thing for somebody else to jump in. Excuse me. Anything else for Aries at this time? Anything else for Aries? The Three of Swords. Yeah, I feel like you're just very emotional right now. And it's like, it's okay to feel this, but know that it's not permanent, Aries. I feel like you're just almost in this energy of like, nothing is working out. Things always end up this way. But I'm gonna be honest, if you're taking an objective look at things, Aries, you might see how you've kind of been sabotaging yourself or setting yourself up for failure. And I know that's not usually the message that people want to hear. But there is a wisdom to be gained through the disappointment, through the grief. And that's really actually what I'm getting with this Three of Swords. And it's temporary. The Empress, knowing your worth, finding your value. Some of you are coming into a more creative, regenerative, or generative energy, birthing things, there is also a readiness and willingness to love, but that does require you being sensitive, and that even requires a willingness to get hurt and be disappointed. So don't let past disappointments hold you back from realizing your heart's desire. I feel like that's really the message here. And if you've made it all the way to the end here, give us that heart emoji. Let us know you've come through here, that you've received this message, and also share down below how this is resonating and landing. I'd love to hear from you, especially if you have other interpretations, maybe something I didn't cover or express. I would love to hear from all of you. Again, I am running a sale on my website, so if you'd like an astrology chart reading, now is a great time to do that. Snag those while you can. At the end of January, you can get 30% off. You can find the code on the top of my website in the stars, and make sure to redeem that at checkout. And again, you can find all of my other links for my social media accounts for donations, and I really just appreciate all of the support you can give this channel with your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. It means more than you can possibly know and allows me to put out these messages for all of you. And you're also welcome to check out the videos for your moon, rising sign, any astrological placement. And I will see you all in the next video. Sending lots of love and blessings your way. Take care, Aries.